All right, make some room here. Get this heavy beast out of the way. New toy. This is the 8BitDo. Or is it 8BitDo? I always say 8BitDo. Someone at one point told me it's dough as in Nintendo. And that's how I think I hear most people say it. But yeah, I don't know. It could be that you're doing the 8-bit. You're doing the 8-bit thing. It's 8BitDo. But I don't know. I think it's 8BitDo. This is the 8BitDo arcade stick. This has been around for a few years. Works with Switch, Windows, Steam, and Raspberry Pi, as they say there. It's wireless or wired, so it'll do 2.4 gigahertz with its proprietary little receiver dongle, or you can do Bluetooth. And I can hear my cat playing with the box that this came in. Hey, Tiggy, you making some noise over there, buddy? Yeah, you jumping in the box? You jumping in the box this came in? Hey? I guess the cat got a new toy too. We both got a new toy. Okay. So let's pop this thing open. Actually, let's check out the back. Is there anything on the back worth looking at? Switch, yada yada, Windows, Steam, yada yada yada. One cool thing about this controller, well, let's open it up first. Super well packed. This is a very deep foam there. We got instruction manual, a little pin, yay. Yeah, so we got a pretty long USB-A to USB-C cable there. And it looks like that's it. Got a decent weight to it. You know, I expected it to have some weight to it because you don't want these things to move around while you're using them. So yeah, it's about what I expected there. I think it's like 4.3 pounds if I remember correctly. It's not nearly as heavy as my keyboard though, and I think that was 4.6 or 4.8 pounds. So maybe that 4.3 pounds was the whole box, the whole packaging, and maybe this is around. Now what do you, Tiggy? And what are you playing with, Tiggy? There's nothing else. Tiggy, is there something else over there? What are you? Oh, you're playing with the packing. You're playing with the paper. You're a funny kitty. I didn't think you'd play with a little bit of paper. Wow. Okay. Got a little piece of, well, speaking of little pieces of paper, got a little piece of paper on there. Basically just telling you what the buttons do. It's pretty obvious, to be honest. We have off, we have S, which is going to be switch mode, and then we have X, which is going to be Xbox or X input mode. We have LS, DP, and RS. What is that? That is basically, yeah, so that's the joystick acting as the left stick. The D-pad, for a second I was like DP. D-pad or RS, the right stick. Looks like we got a wireless button and then whatever those do, not too sure. We got a switch for Bluetooth or 2.4 and we got select and start. And on the back, what do we got here? It's showing us where the dongle is. A little sticker here showing us where the dongle is. And yeah, so what, this pops open. So this pops open and we got the USB dongle hides in here. That's also where the USB-C port is. So you'd plug in your USB-C cable and then there's like a little notch for the cable to come out. All right. Oh, it didn't quite close. Didn't quite, there it goes. Okay, it's got a snap closed there. Got rubber feet on the bottom. Again, fair bit of weight to it. It's not like super crazy heavy or anything, but I think it's heavy enough that it shouldn't move around too much while you're using it there. So again, I think I read 4.3 pounds, but it doesn't feel like it's quite that heavy. So not 100% sure. You'd have to look that one up yourself, I suppose. I'm going to turn this light off for a second because one cool feature on this is when you turn it on into switch mode, you're going to see that it's like BA, ZR, ZL, and then YX. But when you switch it into X input mode, it all changes around. So now it's AB, right trigger, right bumper, left bumper, and XY instead of YX. So everything flips around and the labels on these change, which is pretty cool, right? I did not, when I saw the pictures for it, they had it in switch mode in the picture, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. It's going to say like, ZR and ZL, printed on there, because I didn't know it was lights. It's basically just LED lights. So they can switch that around, so that's pretty cool there. Yeah, pretty straightforward, to be honest. It's I think it's Sanwa parts, or it's like Sanwa clone parts inside. But from what I understand, the way this is built, you can swap out like a real Sanwa stick or real Sanwa buttons, and if there's specific Sanwa buttons you want, certain buttons that have a certain feel, you can swap those out. So it's built so that you can swap out the buttons and the stick. From what I understand, maybe massive generalization here, but typically Japanese cabinets would have a square gate, while American cabinets would have an octagonal gate. So basically, if you ride this stick around the outside edge, it's going into a square pattern. Directly left, right, up, and down don't really lock in. Only the corners, the 4 diagonal corners, lock in. From what I've heard, a lot of people that play fighting games actually prefer the square gate, which surprised me a little bit. But then I was reading about it a little bit, and apparently the pros, they don't push the stick all the way into the gate. Like, once you get used to how the stick feels and where the actuation on the switches is, which, you can hear it and you can feel it, they don't ride the gate. So, like, when you're doing, like, half circles, they just kind of go like that. They don't ride the gate. So, if you ride the gate, it's going to want to get stuck in the corners, in the diagonal corners with the square gate, which sounds weird. You'd be like, fighting, like, people prefer that. But yeah, apparently most people who play fighting games prefer a square gate. I'm not too sure. I'm mostly a casual gamer. I'm not going to be playing fighting games. I'm mostly going to be playing platforming, Dig Dug, Donkey Kong, those kind of games. So I don't know. I think I might like the octagonal gate. So I bought an octagonal gate with this. This, by the way, about $129 Canadian. I bought it off Amazon. And then I got the octagonal gate. So this is a Sanwa. This is an official, as far as I know. It says new Sanwa original joysticks, blah blah blah. But yeah, this is an octagonal gate if I want to replace the square gate. And it's super easy. You just basically flip this thing over, take the screws out, open it up, and the gate just pops off the bottom of the joystick, and then the new gate just pops on. So yeah, it's very easy to replace the gate if you want to. Again, I'm not really sure. I might just play with it for a while with this. And now my cat's going like this in the cat litter box. Dig into China? I don't want to bug him while he's doing that. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to play on it for a little while. If I don't mind the square gate, maybe I'll keep the square gate in there. But I did get the octagonal gate if I wanted to try that. And as you can imagine, that's going to lock in a little bit, pretty much equally top and then diagonal, and then the left and the right. It's an 8-way. It's an octagon. So it's an octagon with your pointed ends directly north, south, east, and west, and then your diagonal. So you can kind of imagine how that would feel. You typically, you have, sometimes in some arcades you would have like a 4-way gate, or even a 2-way gate where like the stick only moves left or right, or the stick only moves up and down. Sometimes you'd have a four-way gate in a game that doesn't use diagonals. But I think the most common gates are going to be the square gate, the octagonal gate, and then just a round gate. But yeah, again, it was $10, so I figured I'll buy it while I buy the stick, just in case. And yeah, I guess I bought this mainly because I do want to play some older arcade games. I want to get in a little bit. I want to get into some of the older arcade games a little bit more. Learn some of the older arcade games. Some of the older arcade games, you know, late 70s, early 80s, that I've never played before. I wouldn't mind playing, and I like playing them in VR. I've shown the arcade time capsule thing in VR, and so I've always said it would be cool in VR to. He's scratching in the scratching in that litter box again. Could you make any more noise today, Tiggy? This is my cat, Tiggy. Put a picture up. He's pretty cute. I've had him for 2 years, I think. Pretty much. Pretty close to 2 years. He was really slow to come around. Kind of shy. He's very I don't know, skittish. Not really. He's a chill cat. He doesn't get into trouble. He's like my last cat in that regard. He doesn't get into trouble. He doesn't jump up on counters. He doesn't chew on cables. He's kind of just a lazy, chill cat, kind of like my last cat in that regard. But yeah, he's a little like if you get up and you walk around near him, he'll kind of get afraid. If you're sitting, he'll come and sit beside you, but not on your lap. He will not sit on your lap, but he'll sit beside you on the couch. He'll come up on my lap if he wants food, treats, but that's about it. But yeah, he's just a super chill cat, and he's just digging to China right now. Like, how are you not done yet? You done? It's quiet now. I think he's done. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, I bought this because I want to play some of those old arcade games in VR, and I thought it would be cool to have the feeling of that. Anyways, so there it is. I kind of like the way it looks. Kind of looks, I don't know. I was going to say kind of like an NES. You got the dark gray on the bottom, and that part's kind of angled in, and then you got the beige on top. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. I'm going to play some classic arcade games in using this controller. So the next video you'll see is probably going to be me playing a retro arcade game, and I will be using this, so we will see how it works. And yeah, I guess that's it, guys. See you later.